Hey guys, it's Sean. We're going to be going on a road trip today. We are headed from our home, roughly, down to North Carolina. We're going to be leaving the Malta, New York area. This is the Malta supercharger. Fun fact, this is a supercharger that happens to have a magic dock, and it was one of the original 12 uh, in the country that had the Magic Dock. This was before they rolled out Magic Dock widely. This was one of the original 11 or 12 here in Malta, New York. So what we're doing today is we're going to be going from here down to a midpoint roughly stop is going to be in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And normally, of course, we'd leave home and we'd charge at home in order to go on this road trip. This is one that we do once or twice a year. But in this case, I actually wanted to start with an extra warm battery being winter out here. This is December 27th. So it is kind of cold today. It's about 20 degrees Fahrenheit here. And what I'd like to do is get this battery warmed up. And it kind of works out for us to use this local supercharger to do this because our daughter actually today is at a volleyball event just down the road. So while she's there, we're charging, getting things ready to go, and then we're going to pick her up and head on south. We're going to stop in Carlisle as our overnight. There is a level 2 charger that we're expecting. There should be several at this. It's a Country Inns and Suites down there in Carlisle, PA, just on the west side of Harrisburg. And what I'm going to do is we're going to charge. The plan is to hit the charger at the New York-Pennsylvania border. It's the Matamoros, Pennsylvania supercharger. It's brand new, relatively new, within the last year or so. It's a 16 stall V3 charger, and I've never actually stopped at that one before, so this makes a good entry point to go ahead and hit that one. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make the trip in our 2024 Tesla Model Y, long range, all-wheel drive. It's got about 50,000 miles on the nose already as a relatively new car. We've already got 50K on her. Working great. I expect no less out of this trip. It should work great. And let's go. right, we've made it to Matamoros. This is a 16 stall supercharger. Let's go ahead and get plugged in. And 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 seconds. And let's plan out what we're doing next. So it says we're going to need 35 minutes here in order to charge. And that's to arrive at Country Inn and Suites in Carlisle with, I think I set it to 10%, or did I set it to 5? Let's arrival. Yep, arrival energy 5%. It'll recalculate that here. So yeah, we have to be plugged in for remove charging stops. 35 minutes. So yeah, this is going to be a dinner break, which is about the right time. It's 5 o'clock. And there's our overall stats for this. So 335 watt hours per mile. A little on the high side. I mean, the battery was still a little coldish. This will warm it up here and doing this charge. And then we should arrive at the Country Inn and Suites around, a little after 8 o'clock tonight, which isn't bad. And on the list of things that you see at a supercharger, there is a very nice looking Mach-E, but they are parked sideways, completely blocking at least the adjacent stall that they're parked next to, besides the one they're charging on. And it's debatable whether somebody could actually plug in at the stall in front of their car or in back. So they're almost risking blocking or using in a combination of 4 different supercharger stalls just with their vehicle. You never know what people are going to do at a supercharger. All right, we're just about done charging here. This is Matamoros, Pennsylvania. It's a 16 stall V3. Good location. There's a Lowe's. Here is a shopping center with movie theaters. There's a few other stores on the back side of that. Directly next to the superchargers is a Wendy's, and farther down there you can't really see it very well, but there's also a Perkins. So we got plenty of stuff here for. Let's go ahead and check out the charging situation. We've got 256 miles of estimated range. Our leg to our hotel is 3 hours and 6 minutes, 197 miles. At 335 watt hours per mile, it's what we've got now. It's estimating that we're going to get there with 9%. I'm wondering if it'll actually even be quite that much by the time we run heat, and it's going to get a little cooler as we go there. And just now it tells us we've got enough energy to continue our trip. Why don't we go ahead and unplug? And let's get going. Okay, we're all checked in, and somewhere here at this Country Inns and Suites here in Carlisle, there's supposed to be, according to PlugShare, 2 or 3, right over here. There was going to be 2 or 3 Tesla wall connectors, and I think another 1 or 2, yep, there's a wall connector. Hopefully they're both working. Let's back right into this spot. Actually, let's back in here. And let's see if this works. Charging stations are for paying guests only. Any guests wishing to use must provide their license plate number to the front desk. Any non-guest vehicle used on your scene will be towed. Okay, so I'm going to plug in and I'm going to make sure they're okay with me doing it. So let's open up the port. And here's the cable. And I don't know if it's working. I'm not positive there's any power there. And on the Grizzly, there's power. That Grizzly's got power. That Grizzly looks like it's got power. The Tesla port or connector does not look like it has power. So let's try the Grizzly, which means I'll need my adapter. Let's get our J1772. All right, let's try this with the adapter. That looks like that might work. So I'm gonna have to check out this Charge Lab QR code and see if I can get her hooked up. Be right back. Okay, we've got this Grizzly charger working, 40 amps on the J1772. Yeah, there's no power on this Tesla wall connector, so I'm glad we've got power on this one. It is charging at 40 amps. It doing well, 207, 208 volts, which is normal business 3-phase voltage, and it's working. So now we'll be able to charge overnight and wake up tomorrow morning to a full tank, so to speak, and be able to be on our way to North Carolina in the morning. Good morning. It's the next day. We're on our trip. We're just leaving Country Inns and Suites, and good room, good hotel. Seems rather new actually, and it's about 7 a.m. 7:15. We're about 15 minutes behind what I was hoping to leave, but that's all right. And car charged all right. Here we've got a Honda Prologue. You don't see those every day, although they're getting to be more popular. Nice little Model 3 here as well. And then we're plugged in. The Tesla wall connector isn't powered up, but there are 3 of these 40 amp Grizzly chargers that work great. They seem real solid. They're free. Can't beat the price. So let's go ahead and get disconnected. Go ahead and unplug. This is a two-handed operation. We'll lay this over top. And good to go. Nice charging here at the Country Inns and Suites in Carlisle. Let's get going on the rest of our trip to North Carolina. right, we have arrived in Woodstock, Virginia as a quick bathroom slash charge stop. Let's go ahead and get plugged in. And this is a 250 kilowatt V3. And we're not going to charge here very long, just long enough to use the facilities, maybe grab a drink. And we are going to have another charge stop somewhere else along the way. I'll figure that out when we're en route. All right, we have made it to Lexington. This is a Sheetz again. This is a lunch stop, and we're just going to charge while we eat lunch. So let's go ahead and plug in. Boom. And we are charging up. We're not going to spend 50 minutes here in order to make it to our destination because we're probably going to end up stopping again for a bathroom break on the way. So we will, for now, just put this in camp mode. We're going to keep the cooler going in the back with that. And we'll eat lunch here. Okay, we have arrived here in Mount Airy, North Carolina. This is definitely the last stop before our destination. In fact, if I had planned it the last stop before this a little more, if I had charged just another 2 minutes, we would have had plenty here, but that's fine. We wanted to stop here anyway. This is a Circle K that we've stopped at a few different times. They've got 8 V3 stalls. Good place to stop. They've got good subs and snacks and whatnot in there. Let's go ahead and get charged up. This really only needs to be a quick splash and dash, and we don't need hardly anything here. Yeah, we've got 74 miles worth of range. We've only got 70 miles left to go, and I'm just going to put it on camp mode to keep our cooler in the back plugged in and working. And so yeah, this is just going to be a quick little 3-minute bathroom break, splash and dash on the charger, and then we'll get going. Thanks, Circle K. Good morning, folks. We've had a good visit with family here in North Carolina, and now we are on our way back. It is New Year's Eve. We are going to make it all the way back home today, hopefully. It's going to be a little bit of a marathon, but it's doable. We've made this trip in one day before, and that's the plan today. So we are currently charging. It's our first real charge stop to get us going back home, other than the little bits of charging that we've done in and around the Hickory area while visiting family. So yeah, we're at the Circle K. This is the one in Mount Airy. It's the Mount Airy supercharger. It's an 8-stall V3 supercharger. And yeah, looking forward to this trip. I have used full self-driving so far on the way home here. Right now, it does say that if we follow their path home and charging, we should get home around 7:15 this evening. It's currently about 7:15 in the morning. We're not going to follow their exact path, and I think at some of these chargers we're going to charge up a little more than what they suggest, so I don't think it's going to take as many charging stops as what it says. And then we very well might insert an extra small bathroom break somewhere in there. So I'm going to guess we get home realistically around 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30 this evening. And then, but I'll keep you updated on that. And looking forward to today. We'll use the charging stops as smartly as we can and get ourselves home. All right, and we are back in Lexington, Virginia at, guess what, another Sheetz. But you gotta love it because they're a good stop, good place to refuel, recharge, and re-energize, snacks, drinks, whatnot. This was a little over 2-hour jaunt for this one. Quick bathroom break. We really only need to charge for probably 10 minutes, which is about as long as it'll take to get in and out of the shop. And what we're going to do is go up to West Virginia. We will charge up there and have lunch. I think there is a Chick-fil-A up there at that charger. And we'll go ahead and make this a quick stop and head on up the road. welcome to Martinsburg, West Virginia. We have finally gotten out of Virginia on 81. And so West Virginia, we stopped right across the street, got some Chick-fil-A. It actually took us forever to get through that drive-through. And even though it's only a tenth of a mile over here, we had to go about half a mile down the road, half a mile back through some pretty intense traffic. It probably took us 20 minutes to do all that, which is a little much. But anyway, we've just gotten done eating, and we're here at the, like I say, Martinsburg, West Virginia supercharger. It is an 8-stall, I believe. Yes. 8 stalls, V3. This is the one on Apple Harvest Drive. And again, it's out of Sheets, but hey, great for bathrooms, food, and whatnot. And now we've overcharged. I mean, we sat here to eat, so we've actually charged more than we need to in order to get to. I mean, we could stop in Harrisburg. There's a brand new V3 on Brindle Drive, and that's what I've got in the navigation now. After that, that's not an ideal stop as far as we wouldn't need to charge there. And actually, it's not even that great of a stop for a restroom. What I'm doing is trying to plan out the best strategy of, the fewest charge stops on the way home. We could also charge at the brand new one in Wilkes-Barre at the Wilkes-Barre Township Commons. That's a 12-stall V3. And we could make it there, but only if we charged up to about 90%. It's probably not worth sitting here that long to do that. It's a lot quicker to just keep on moving. But if I do charge in Harrisburg, then we probably will be able to make it all the way up to Matamoros, which is right at the border along I-84 from Pennsylvania into New York. And that is probably doable. We might hit a quick bathroom stop along the way that has nothing to do with charging, but that's probably the loose plan now. Right now, the rough plan for getting home is we're scheduled to get home around 8:30. It says 8:25 right now. So that has slipped by maybe a half hour, and easily 20 minutes of that was this Chick-fil-A stop. It was a good sandwich, but I wish it didn't cost an extra 20 minutes there. So that's the plan. We should get home right around 8:30. I mean, worst case scenario, we have an extra unplanned stop. We're getting home close to 9 o'clock, and that's perfectly doable. So we'll update you along the way. We are in Wilkes-Barre now. This is just a bathroom stop, and we're only about 3.5 hours from home. Just charging because I can at a bathroom break. So we're going to be home in 3.5 hours or so. Roughly should be home right about 8:30. That's a great time. I mean, yeah, it's going to be dark, but that's a lot better than 10:30 or 12:30. So we'll take it. Great trip so far. Car's working great. Great weather. I think we're staying ahead of what little rain there is the whole way up. So can't ask for better weather along the route. See you in a bit. And we are back here at Matamoros. This is our last charging stop. It's actually primarily a dinner stop. The girls have gone over to Wendy's. I am just going to stay here and charge up the car. This is the last charging stop. It says it'll take 20 minutes for us to have enough charge to get home. I'm pretty sure it's not going to take that long. It's only 143 miles back to home. This is the final stretch. And I predict we're only going to need about 10 minutes of charge. So actually, the girls will probably still be over there at the restaurant, and I'll just unplug and go meet them over there. But it's been a really great trip. I'm excited to wrap up the stats on this here at the end, and I'll have all of those for you. Once I get home, I can add up all the charge numbers, the costs, the kilowatt hours, the timing, all that good stuff for down and back. And it should be pretty enlightening. And then I will try to compare it as well to an equivalent gas car. I've got some good stats that I can use for that. So great working car, good road trip, good weather, can't argue. And let's get going home.
Cruising down the highway under neon lights, see the skyline, feeling so alive. The bass is bumping, beats in the ride. I'm going home, but tonight we thrive. I'm going home, but I'm taking my time. The city's calling, going in my mind. Hands on the wheel, but my soul's in the sky. I'm going home, but I'm ready to fly. She said, where you headed? I said, no place fast. But the music in my veins, it's making it last. From the streets to the clubs, yeah, we make it blast. Feel the rhythm in your chest, got you caught in the grass. Oh, the night is young, and we're burning bright. Lost in the rhythm, we own the night. No destination, just a journey to feel. I'm going home, but I'm riding with steel. I'm going home, but I'm taking my time. The city's calling, going in my mind. Hands on the wheel, but my soul's in the sky. I'm going home, but I'm ready to fly.
Yeah, the lights flash, and we're moving fast. No looking back, just hitting the gas. This night's a story, forever in a life. We're going home, but living life fast.
Darkness fades as we reach the dawn, but the fire in our hearts keeps burning on. I'm not lost, just finding my way. I'm going home, but I'm here to stay. I'm going home, but I'm taking my time. The city's calling, going in my mind. Hands on the wheel, but my soul's in the sky. I'm going home, but I'm ready to fly. One more mile, the road stretches far. I'm going home, but I've come so far. The journey's endless, but that's alright. I'm going home into the night.
And we're home. It was a long trip, but it was a good trip. It is a trip we've done many, many times, including several times in our Model 3, and now this is the second time in our Model Y. Total driving time, if you just drive it straight, according to Google, is exactly 12 hours. 12 hours down, 12 hours back, between the Albany, New York area and the Hickory, North Carolina area. We spent 14 hours driving down and 14 hours and 40 minutes driving back. So that means driving down, we spent 2 hours total on all of our stops. That included meals, bathroom breaks, and during those, we were charging as well. And then on the way home, it was 2 hours and 40 minutes worth of extra time, again, doing those meals and charging times and whatnot. Now, all of the charging was done during stops we would have made, with a couple of exceptions. I did calculate that roughly on our way down to North Carolina, 10 minutes of that 2 hours that we spent on non-driving time was actually time waiting for charging to finish. There was one charge where we were looking to get a certain level, and so I kept track of that. And then on the way back, I estimated that there was about 20 minutes worth of actual waiting time during charging. Normally, that's not really an issue at all. If this had been a spring or summer drive down, then charging would have been faster. We would have been much more efficient. And I'm confident that there would have been zero waiting time on actual charging, because we would have been able to accomplish all of our charging during stops we would have normally made for meals and drinks, etc. Total distance, 1,652 miles. We used 499 kilowatt hours of energy, and that equates to efficiency of 302 watt hours per mile, or said a different way, that comes out to about 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. And if I look at my notes here, so total charging time for down and back was 3 hours and 40 minutes. So out of 4 hours and 40 minutes of non-drive time, 1 hour was miscellaneous time going to and from between chargers and meal places, etc. You could call that the wasted time in between. But 3 hours and 40 minutes of total charge time during those, again, the stops we would have made. And the total dollar amount spent on charging was $162.15. If you include the initial Malta charge stop where I was specifically looking to use a supercharger to fill up the battery to get going, to warm it up, that was an extra $24.55. That really was optional. I could have just charged at home, but because we were attending an event immediately before departing on our trip, I actually chose to hit a supercharger instead of charging from home. So in a way, that was kind of optional. But if we include that, then we spent $186.70. And if we break it down in cost per mile for the supercharging, it comes out to 9.8 cents per mile. Now, our other vehicle is a 2014 Mazda CX-5, a gas car, of course. It has roughly 100,000 miles. It runs wonderful. Fun fact, I have actually tracked every single fuel up in that vehicle since we bought it new. And the overall mileage on that vehicle is exactly 29 miles per gallon for the life of the vehicle. And that also equates, based on the mileage and the cost we've done, it also comes out to 9.8 cents per mile exactly. So it's kind of interesting that the supercharging cost comes out to the same as really an equivalent size vehicle for the same type of trip. And we have made that trip before in our Mazda, and it works fine. It works well. Of course, if you used regular home electricity to charge the car to go those same 1,650 miles, it would be a little less than half of that, depending on your electricity cost, of course. Here in upstate New York, our price per kilowatt hour for electricity is right around 18 cents, which is kind of high compared to some areas, but definitely lower than others. It's kind of average, actually, across the country. So if we were to take the same number of miles, that would actually be a little less than half. It would come out to about 4 cents per mile running costs for the Model Y on a per mile basis, which is very efficient. So you can definitely save money, especially if you can charge at home on regular residential electricity rates, compared to always having to supercharge. Thankfully, we're able to charge from home, and supercharging is really just relegated to long distance road trips a couple times a year. I hope you've enjoyed this recap. I hope you enjoyed viewing our trip. We enjoyed documenting the road trip for you and for ourselves. And I hope you'll stay tuned for more videos. Keep tripping, and we'll see you on the next one.